Welcome back to the stream. This is going to be about, again, continuing on spanning tree MST, this time path selection using port priority. The last one I did was based on the spanning tree cost parameter. So now we're going to do port priority and try some other things on the stream. I'm trying to get this sound right. Still haven't found what I need to do yet. Also, I installed a new audio input capture device to capture desktop audio. Try to play some music in the background. So I'm going to experiment with that as well. Alright, so this is our setup. Spanning tree MST, path selection using port priority. I'm also trying Text Wrangler instead of the regular text edit on the Mac because I can use a different background color. Makes it easier to see on the stream. So here we go. Our basic setup, same as we had last time, but I'm going to do it manually again, and I'm starting here because it's more practice on MST setup. So hopefully by the time I do these labs, I'll remember how to do MST configurations. First, I have to create the VLANs. I was doing 1 through 200 and it kind of froze up. Really affected the processing in Viral on this virtual machine. So I'm just going to do 1 through 20 this time, a lot more modest. So we're going to say 1 through 20 VLAN. In configure mode VLAN 20. What did I do? Oh, VLANs. It didn't like. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it wants VLANs, sometimes it wants VLANs. So we create a VLAN and then configure spanning tree MST configuration. And we need our name, our revision, and our VLAN mapping. So VLAN mapping here for each instance. Instance 1, VLAN 1 through 10. Instance 2, VLAN 11 through 20. I need to do that on each. Spanning tree MST configuration. Name MST. Vision 1. Instance 1 VLAN 1 through 10. Instance 2 VLAN 11 through 20. And switch 3 and 4. We're going to be hearing my keyboard because I tried to play with that. My voice is kind of low, so when I lower it enough to keep the keyboard sounds out, I lose a voice. And I guess in a way it's kind of some haptic feedback you get. Kind of goes with what I'm doing on the stream, so I'm going to leave it for now anyway. Sorry, you have to live with it. Name MST 1. Okay. Next, we have to enable it. Start at the root bridge, what I assume is a root bridge. So should be good. Show spanning tree MST. Should have MST 0, MST 1, MST2, VLAN's a map, 1 through 10, 11 through 20. Yep. We'll verify all those. 1 and 2 is mainly what we'll be working with. So, all right, that is the first part of this. Configure the VLANs, configure the MST instances. Now, switch 1 as a root bridge. For instance 1, so MST1 or MST instance 1. So we want to ensure that spanning tree, that this is the root bridge. Priority 0. Okay, alternate root bridge is switch 2. Spanning tree, I'm so used to typing VLAN there. But it's just MST1, priority 4096. It's next highest. So it's just confirm, show spanning tree MST1. Root and alternate, of course. Actually, let's look at this from switch. Pretty sure it's going to be alternate. How do I demonstrate that that is alternate? Well, even though it already was, I can look at the priority. This is priority 1, this is the root bridge, this is 4097. So it did take. And the root for this MST instance is this address, priority 1. We know that's switch 1. Okay. So those steps are done. Now, using port priority on MST1, I'm going to have to look this up just like I had to do for cost, because it's been a while. I'm about to pull up the document here. What are they doing? Cisco's always changing their page, I swear. Coming soon. Oh my gosh, that's the Cisco support community. Another dumb ad. Come on, Cisco. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the LAN switches. And we're going to search for that command. 37X. And reference. So let's go index. And EAGP spanning tree MST port priority command. So there's an MST context port priority command just like there was for MST cost. Usage. Use spanning on a switch stack. Spanning tree MST instance ID port priority. Okay. And just like you did on the last one, default is 128. You can assign higher priority values, lower numerical values, to interfaces that you want selected first. So the higher priority is the lower number, and lower priority values that you want selected last. If all interfaces have the same priority, blah blah blah. Switch is a member of stack. if your switch is a member of a switch stack, you must use a spanning tree MST cost interface configuration command instead of the spanning tree MST instance VLAN ID port priority interface configuration command. Not sure I understand that. Instance VLAN ID. Well, I'm just going to do this like I did the other parameters, which basically was at the interface level. Let's do a new note here. All right, I'm learning Text Wrangler. I don't like that it does that. I want this to be in a new window. There we go. I'll make that default. I'll figure that out later. So in switch 2, using port priority MST1 traffic from switch 4 to switch 1, use a switch 2 to switch 4 link. So we want it going this way and not that way. I'm not sure which way it's going now because these interfaces are disabled. Let's just look. Probably going that way now. Show spanning tree MST1. Role master. I don't think I've ever seen that. Always something new in every, it seems like every master. The heck is that? MSTIs are constructed independently in every region, but they have to be mapped to the CIST at the boundary ports. This means inability to load balance VLAN on the boundary links by mapping VLANs to different ends. All VLANs use the same non-blocking boundary ports. So we shouldn't have multiple regions here. MST1 VLANs map. That's the problem. I did that in the last lab. Can you do a show run of that section? No. Okay. Instance 1, VLAN 1 through 10. Instance 2, VLAN 11 through 20. Well, darn it. Okay, spanning tree MST configuration. Instance 1, VLAN 1 1 through 10. Well, darn. Instance 2 VLAN 11 through 20. Now, this is the kind of thing that can really cost time in a CCIE lab. These types of errors. Is that what I actually typed? No. And I did exit. That should save it. Weird. Show spanning tree MST1. Okay, there we go. Alright, back to where we were. So 03 right now is the excuse me. Um, 03 is the root port, which is what we would expect. But we want to guarantee that that happens, is basically what it's saying. Use the root or the port priority, which right now we have priority number 128.4, 128.5, 128.6, 128.7. That's what I want to map out here. So from switch 4, we have E10, G03 going to switch 2. We have G11 and G12 going to switch 3. Port priority is 128 dot. So we want to use this command to map the port priority for instance MST instance 1, and I guess we can pick whatever we want within the correct parameters. I don't know what those are. As we were looking here, we can do 0. Default is 128, and the priority is 0 to 240 in increments of 16. So the default is 128. So I think what I'm going to want to do is change to 0. Excuse me. So I want to make this 0. We'll make these, the top end is 240. Okay. So that's on switch 4. Configure terminal. Interface. G1s. Let's do a range because we're cool like that. Spanning tree MST port priority 0. One. Okay, now interface range J1 through 2, spanning doesn't like 240. This is a range. The documentation for this version is 240. Not the version I'm running, though. So we'll go 224. Fine. So now show spanning tree MST1. Look at that priority. Boom. Same cost. I'm curious. If the cost is higher, the priority is lower. Which one wins? That's a good question. And I can research that, or I could just try it. So let me change the cost. Yeah, what if we raise the cost? What if we raise the cost? So cost, lower number is better. Any of these parameters, lower number is better. Let's say interface range G0, G10, spanning tree MST port priority. Cost. So we're gonna make it higher, 200,000. Interesting. So it looks like cost is more important than priority number. Make the cost the same again. Yep. So when I had a higher cost, it reverted to the other links. So just to test, if the link goes down, back to our exercise here. The link, well, we're talking about the root port GI03. Pretty obvious. Yeah, 10 now. Okay, cool. That was pretty easy. Try my new filter here. We're gonna play a little music, and we're just gonna see how this sounds on the voice, and we'll see you for the next lab, which there's another MST lab as well coming right up. Thanks for tuning in.